or for new front door handle. Oh my gosh.
Ooh wee!
Welcome to forever, man. Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever.
Hey guys, we're at a property on Greenfield, unit number 2. This is my business partner, Cody. You don't see him that often. I tell people all the time, I'm the face of the operation. He's the backbone. He does a lot more in this business than I do. I basically hang out at my house and with my feet kicked up on the couch. Anyway, we have completely different jobs. That's why we're such a good partnership, and that we're gonna jump into that in a minute. But this is a property, I want Cody to rehearse the numbers because guess what? I don't know the numbers. I helped get the deal, I helped manage the construction, but Cody managed the deal side of it. So Cody, where do we buy it? Where are we exiting? What's the structure of this deal?
Yeah, so we actually bought this property for $180,000. It was actually really cool. Talk about collaboration. We bought this from another wholesaler, and that wholesaler made $60,000 assigning it to us. And we were excited about it. We were super happy for them because we were still able to buy it at a deal that made sense for us. So we bought it for $180,000. We put about $25,000 into this property. And within less than 1 day on the market, 6 hours on the market, we sold it for $245,000. So our estimated profit on this deal is right about $25,000 to $30,000 once all the dust settles at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you never know because the last flip that we just closed on, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, Boise, and we never got a chance to actually do a big long video on that one with Bobby. It was by the time I had met you, Bobby, and you were doing filming for us, we were already heavy under construction. But that house, we were like, wow, we're gonna make like 55 grand on it. And then our Binzer, and we should do a whole video about Benzers. Our Binzer ended up being what, like 8 to 10 grand?
Yeah, ridiculous.
It was like, they asked for the repairs on the roof and we were like, fine, you know what, just give them a new roof. And we were thinking that's $2,200, it's a smaller house. And then also we have guys who've worked for me before Cody and I linked up a couple of years ago. I've had guys working for me 8 years prior to that. So our guys in the other room that's what's funny. We sold this house before the guys even had a chance to do the touch-ups. Like they haven't even gotten their final check. We sold that house that fast in the COVID scare. So on Boise, our guys are doing the shingles. They pull up all the shingles on the roof and they realize, oh shit, all the plywood needs to be replaced on the roof. So there's another $2,200. Then we did a septic inspection. Septic tank had to be fixed, $2,600. And all these things kept racking up. And then we also even had to build a fake ceiling on the existing ceiling, which is a whole nother crazy thing. So what we thought we would make the day we contracted with the buyer is never the amount of money you actually walk away with because the buyer is now going to do what?
They're going to do their inspections, they're nitpicky, and they get scared about little things here and there on the property, and that's something that we have to take care of. So.
Right, so the process is the buyer sends us an offer. You're a real estate agent, so what happens once we get an offer?
Yeah, so we get an offer, which basically then starts their nitpicking period of time. So what happens is then we accept an offer, we accept the terms. They have a 10-day inspection period to have the appraiser come out, appraise the property, assess if there's anything that the appraiser deems that needs to actually be repaired or fixed actually for the loan to go through. And then during that period of time, they also have a home inspector go out, check for problems, really anything. Their job is to nitpick everything. You get a 40, 50 page long report of every single little thing that could possibly be wrong with the property.
Who pays for that?
The buyer.
Okay, so the buyer pays for the inspection. The inspector comes out. That typically takes how much time?
Usually about 2 hours.
Okay, so he takes 2 hours. The inspector takes probably half a day. He compiles that report and he sends it to who?
The buyer and their agent.
Right, so then the buyer and the agent go through that inspection report and they create a repair request and they send it over to the agent that we hired. Who did we hire on this one?
Edwin, which is also our private lender.
Right, and we just did a video, so go look up for that video with Edwin, how we broke out what we paid him, how we calculate his payment on a monthly basis for his interest. That was a really good video, so go check that out. But Edwin gets the information from that buyer. So the buyer, when they submit an offer, what do we typically say on the repair side?
So we actually train any agent that's listing the property for us to set good expectations up front with our buyers. by basically letting the buyer's agent know, hey, our seller is super sensitive to repairs. If your buyer is thinking they're going to come in and ask for a lot of repairs to be done to the property, it's just not going to happen. Don't even put in an offer on the property because that's not something that we're going to do. But if they want to move forward, they really love the house, they want to move forward, they want the house, and aren't going to throw a big line of repairs at us when the inspection comes up, go ahead and submit your offer. But otherwise, don't waste your time.
Yeah, so it's a filtering process for us. So when we get a buyer, we don't really know a lot about that buyer. In fact, we don't even know the buyer's, we know their name, but we don't know anything about them. So what happens is when our listing agent tells the buyer's agent who represents the buyer, hey, we're very sensitive to repairs, so we don't really care what your offer is, but whatever we accept, we're letting you know that we're gonna probably decline the majority of your repairs, or if we do accept repairs, you're just gonna give you a credit. You gotta go do those repairs yourself. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to scare off the buyers that say, I don't know how to fix anything myself, that's why. So who are the ones that typically ask for the most repairs? Are people who don't know how to do repairs themselves.
Yes.
So we try and kind of scare them off because they're the ones that are so afraid. It's not that they're bad people, it's just that they're afraid of buying a property that might have like, let's do like something I could even point out in here. This is the kind of stuff that you would even get. Like you see how this is a brand new cover, but this is an old outlet. You sometimes will get a buyer to request to replace that outlet, even though it's working perfectly fine. And so by letting the buyer's agent know up front that we're hypersensitive to that kind of stuff, we're gonna turn it down, they'll relay that to the buyer, and the buyer can then say, you know what, I don't wanna go through this transaction. These guys sound like dicks.
Another thing that you can do as an agent, and so we coach agents on this. When I was an agent, I would coach my buyers on this as saying, hey, like an AC unit, like we look at the AC unit on this house, it's probably 5 to 7 years old, so it's getting a little bit older. Coaching your clients to get a home warranty. Get a home warranty instead of asking for their AC to be replaced.
Right.
Your home warranty is gonna cover you for the next year, it's $500, and that's something that on our end, we're more than willing to do instead of replacing the AC unit, and it still gives the buyer peace of mind.
Good point. So when you guys are accepting offers on fix and flips, and Cody and I are, we've had a lot of experience with fixing and flipping. I think between the two of us, we've probably done over 7,000 renovations. Cody's got a little bit less than I do, but we have a lot of renovation experience on this, but the renovation experience only gets you so far. When you're going and negotiating with a buyer, your buyer might come in at a full price offer, but if they come in and ask for $5,000 in repairs, you might have wished you went with a different buyer who flat out told you, hey, I might offer you $2,000 less, but I won't ask you for any repairs. So that the final offer that you get from that buyer is not the final amount of money that's going to tally out your profitability. And so we have to let our the buyer know we're hypersensitive to it. We're going to give you a credit, and if that's something, what did they ask for?
On this particular property, they asked for, it was $2,000 off the price. They asked for some closing costs to be covered, and they asked for a new sink to be installed, and they wanted a fridge to be installed. I mean, they asked for a few different things. So
that honestly, that's a total of like $6,000. So let's go through that. A fridge, $1,500. Lower price, $2,000. Closing costs, probably another $1,500, and a couple other things. You're probably at $6,000. So a lot of people don't take into consideration when they're doing their spreadsheet. So this is what's funny too. Mm-hmm. Sorry to make this such a long video, but this is very, very important. When you're working out your spreadsheet and you're like penciling in your numbers, you have to plan on this kind of bull crap that pops up at the end of the deal. It's part of the deal. Yeah. It's on every single deal. It's never like, here's your purchase price, this is what you're getting. It's like, here's the beginning of the bending over that you're gonna get, right, as the seller. So we end up getting a contract at what price?
$245.
So $245, we'll probably spend $1,000 on little repairs, knick-knacky stuff, and we're gonna walk through the property here in just a second. I'm gonna show you a handful of things I purposely told the guys not to fix because they're very obvious repairs that the home inspector is gonna point out, and the buyer is going to request them to be fixed, and we will then give them a credit for those things. Why would we want to have obvious things out in the open that need to be fixed?
Because otherwise, the home inspector's job is they're being hired by the buyer. So what is that home inspector going to do even if we do fix majority of everything? They're going to go and nitpick. They're going to have to satisfy the buyer and the pay that they paid to that home inspector. They want to find nitpicky things. They're going to try and find every single little thing to show the buyer, hey, I did my job. I found these little things, even though pretty much the house is in great condition. Their job is to nitpick.
Have you ever done a high school report where the teacher says, okay, this needs to be a 4-page report? So what you do is you do the spacing on double spacing and you have extra filler words and all that kind of stuff just to get to the 4-page requirement?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have. So that's the thing with the home inspectors. They have almost like a 50-page requirement, it feels like. And for every $10 they make, they almost want to make 1 page. So they get paid $450 to $500. And could you imagine if we fixed every last little nitpicky thing and he came to the person that paid him $500 with 3 pages of repair requests?
Yeah, the buyer would feel like they got screwed and
right.
Overpaid.
So he doesn't work for us, he works for them. And so he's going to justify his pay like Cody said. So it's very, very important to understand that you need to not repair everything. You need to not over evaluate your property. In fact, when we walk out to the front here, like the paint that's splattered, the landscape isn't even all the way done. You don't expect your properties to be perfect. Don't expect them to be perfect. And also buy in the right locations. What did we do right on this house?
I mean, this is a great area of town. This is a corner unit, no neighbors on one side, single story. I mean, the price point, I mean, there's a lot of good things.
It's right next to the pool.
Yeah, right next to the pool.
Right, so we're in a really great spot. We didn't paint the exterior. It probably needs a little bit of paint. I was a little bit worried about that, but that's something that you can do if you don't sell it within your first couple of weeks. You then reevaluate and you say, what can we do to make this more appealing? And this house was very appealing. We had 8 showings day 1, full price offer, and we accepted that full price offer. So back to the matter at hand. We renovated this property in about 3 weeks. We went through, we did carpet, baseboards, paint, couple new outlets, a new hot water heater, and then we also had a bunch of water damage in the property, right?
Yeah.
So we had to fix the roof, which you guys will see that in the previous video. Bobby will cut in some good splices there and show you guys how bad this house was. I couldn't breathe when I was in here because it had so much cat hair and it was just dusty freaking everywhere all over the property. So
I'm leaving.
Oh, you're not leaving because I need to take a photo with you guys. So give me 2 minutes.
All right.
So anyway, our guys, we love them so much. They've been with us for a very, very long time. We like to take photos with them when we finish projects because it's just a good scrapbook for us. This isn't just what we do to feed our families. It's what we do to feed other people's families, and their families become our own. We love these guys. So when they do a project, we want them to feel proud of it too. And we'll take a photo, put them on social media, and show them that we're proud to have them on our team. So let's go through real quick, Bobby, and I'm going to zoom through like really, really quick. So we replaced this tile, 12 by 24. We could have kept the original tile in here and matched it, but we decided not to do that because the shower ended up being brand new. Now, what do you notice, Bobby, that I don't have right here?
Glass.
Right, so a lot of home flippers will feel like they have to put this glass door here. A good glass door is going to cost you $800 to $1,200. I really don't get the best pricing on glass doors because every glass door needs to be made custom. And our guys reasonably priced, but these aren't cheap. And so what we do is we just sell the shower as is. Now, if this was $1 million property, absolutely I'm putting a shower door here, but they can put a curtain here and they can do all that stuff and have a functioning shower. And it also, when you make a custom shower door, they take 8 to 10 days. So we left the countertop, we left the cabinet here, replaced the countertop, and then what did we do with the mirror? Did we replace the mirror or did we put trim around the mirror?
We put trim around the mirror.
Right, so we put trim around the mirror. That probably cost me $10 to take this mirror and make it look ultra custom versus going and buying, removing this, fixing the drywall, because these mirrors are glued to the wall. So you have to pull the mirror off, repair the drywall, and then put new mirrors on. So we didn't have to do any of that. We just used baseboard material and framed out the mirror. Very inexpensive way to do it. We did not replace this ceiling fan. Again, Cody and I are painting everything white semi-gloss now because we just realized everybody just wants white. Hey guys, I'm gonna put you on camera, okay? How long did this take us?
I don't know, like 2 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
What was the hardest part of this? What was the most challenging part of this renovation? Nothing, right? This is a pretty easy project.
Use a shower.
Oh yeah, the shower was pretty challenging. What about the water damage, like the mold and stuff?
All on that.
Right. So we took out the wall in the bedroom.
I replaced all the drywall.
Right. Replaced all the drywall.
Insulation.
Insulation. Yeah.
And then we had to fix the roof. Right. We had Eleazar come fix the roof. We did baseboards. We did the flooring. Did we replace any of the outlets, or we kept everything the same?
Just cleaning.
Just cleaned it. Okay.
And a couple ones like two.
And this ceiling fan and this were already here, right? We just kept these ones?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So anyway, these guys have been working for us for years. This is the part, Bobby, that I left for the inspector. You see the weather seal is broken? So what's gonna happen is they're gonna go through and do an inspection on this. And I saw this when we first walked through, and we decided in that first YouTube video when we walked through with Jamil, I said, I'm gonna leave those things, and we did. Because you walk in, it's blatantly obvious, and that's a pretty big item. The inspector's gonna come in here and say, oh, there you go, I've earned my money, right? And then they'll put in the inspection report, and we will give them a credit for those windows. That's just the weather seal that's broken. So we did nothing here. This was actually primarily why I decided to go with a brown floor, because most people want to have grays right now. I didn't want to replace this. So we matched it with like a brown look. I did not want to replace the tile in the kitchen or in that hallway, so I just did everything brown. And then I'll zip through here and then we'll be done. A lot of times, how's the audio in here? Is it okay?
It's okay.
So a lot of times we will have a shower that's really bad, and I don't know if Bobby had good, like it was really hard to even walk in this bathroom in the first place. I don't know what kind of B-roll we have, but this shower originally was just so absolutely horrible. A lot of times we'll sand it down and we'll refinish it with epoxy. It was just way easier on this one just to replace this tub, so we did that. Notice what we did on this mirror as well. We replaced we put trim on it, left the glass in place, put a countertop and painted the bottom so we didn't have to buy an all new vanity. A lot of times our countertop guy has leftover material from other jobs, and that's what we got here. He ended up giving us this material for free, but just charging us for the labor because he had these little remnants around at his office, not his office, but his shop. So last room. This room had a massive roof leak, and we had to tear out this entire wall and rebuild this wall because the mold had gotten down. You can kind of see, I don't know if your camera will pick this up, but you can see the drywall texture that's different than the original. Can you see that on your camera?
Can't even see it with my eyes.
Come on this side and look down at it. I mean, if you can't see it, then I guess our guys did a great job. I can see it. I've been doing this so long, I can point out drywall textures like that. But this was a really easy project in a really good part of town. It was a good decision. So right now, during COVID, Cody and I are actually ramping up our fix and flip business, but we're zeroing in and come on in here, bro. So we're zeroing in on what we're looking for. So we're gonna try and stay East Valley, probably Tempe, South Scottsdale, Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, no Queen Creek, no Santan Valley. And we're gonna focus all of our attention on those areas and fixing and flipping there. The advantage of our partnership, and this will be the last thing that we say, the advantage of a partnership with people that have completely two different personalities is it's okay to have, him and I have some overlap where our visions somewhat overlap, and that's why we get along so well. But Cody doesn't have to worry about the construction, right? That stuff is handled.
Which is amazing.
Right? Managing employees and building up other businesses and all the lead flow and the structure and the operating system that our business runs underneath, Cody handles that. So I can be out in the field doing very specific tasks, knowing that other things are being taken care of. And then Cody, if he didn't really even want to, he never would have to show up at a property ever again if you didn't want to. It's kind of nice to get out of the house though.
Yeah, right now. Especially.
What do you see? What do you see in other partnerships of people that we know personally? In fact, we were just talking about a partnership 15 minutes before Bobby started filming. Mm-hmm. What do you see in other partnerships that would be hard to work with somebody? Maybe another Cody working with Cody, or another Pace working with another Pace.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the personalities have to be different. Otherwise, you're both going to want to be chasing the same thing. Like with Pace and I, he loves the sales aspect. I don't like it as much. Like, I'm okay to do it if I have to, but it's not something that I thrive and enjoy a lot. And the same thing with Pace is like, he can do the integration, he could do the marketing and the leads and all that, but I just know he just doesn't love to do that, doesn't want to do that, doesn't want to focus his time on that.
Guys, in fact, I feel trapped. The only thing I can do is in the morning from like 3 to 6 in the morning, I can focus on computer work, but if there's any other thing for me to do, I will absolutely go do that instead. Even like chasing a bird outside, but the bird's already been awake, so I got to do the computer work then. So I can do it, but Cody's way better at it and he enjoys doing it. So you need to find a partner that wakes up in the morning and the first thing that they're gravitated towards is a superpower that you are not gravitated towards, because there's other partnerships, they both wanted to go on the appointments. They both want to go close the seller. And then there's other partnerships that neither one of them want to close the seller and they both want to do lead gen. Guys, these are failed business partnerships that aren't going to have any longevity. So anyway, in closing, send us your freaking deals. We want to flip some more houses. Where would we want to buy and what price point would we want to stay underneath?
Pretty much anywhere East Valley, single family homes, condos, townhomes, ARVs under 250,000, light renovations, no major construction projects where we have to pull permits or anything like that. So that's pretty much the buy box. East Valley, we will do some Phoenix depending on where it is, but ARVs definitely under 250.
Love it. So guys, that wraps up episodes 1 and 2 of this Greenfield flip. You saw it from start to finish, from the first walkthrough to the final walkthrough. I will never come back to this property ever again. The next involvement I will have on this property is when Cody lets me know what our final net profit is on the deal. When are we closing escrow?
May 21st.
So May 22nd, I'm gonna know exactly what our net is. But guys, go to subto.com if you're looking to get into creative financing. If you guys need help with your wholesale business or even your fix and flip business, reach out to Cody, reach out to myself. Cody, what's your Instagram?
Cody Barton Official.
And definitely don't call him, definitely don't email him. He has way too many communications flying at him all day long. But Cody, what are the things that we're trying to help people out with? Is it VA Hub? Where can people get help from us?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that people are always asking me is how to generate more leads. So we actually are working with a company called vahubonline.com, and they could help you with cold calling, they could help you with your text management, and basically just help you generate leads so you could focus on the actual money-making activities, which is following up with those leads and closing more deals.
Love it, guys. So please subscribe, please like, share with your friends. More important for me than even liking and subscribing, I appreciate all of that, but more important for me specifically is Bobby and I are gonna continue to make videos of all the properties Cody and I are accumulating in our portfolio, fixing and flipping, or helping other people wholesale. So if you guys have specific topics that you wanna learn about, go in the comments down below and tell us. We wanna show you exactly how to do this business. Thank you so much.
You know that this right here forever. No surrender, it's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender, it's forever. You know this right here forever.